in the opening exchanges. Serbia haven't really been able to find any kind of momentum through midfield in the game. Serbia have the ball once again at the back, and they play it now into midfield, and certainly trying to get in Group C game. Serbia have the ball now outside their own penalty area, and Serbia really have struggled to move the ball with sufficient pace out from the back into the midfield. It's an opportunity now to fire the ball long for Mitrovic, who'd rather lost out in terms of the physical duel with Mela, and now Denmark want to throw in on the left-hand side, just over halfway on their left-hand side. And you'd have to say that Serbia have been a little bit sloppy in the game, and Denmark have been the better of the two sides without really creating too much. Serbia have the ball once again now inside their own half, and Serbia are starting to see more of the ball, and potentially a better sign now for Serbia as they come forward in the form of Zivkovic. Zivkovic offloaded on that left-hand side, and Serbia once again are forced a little bit further backwards, and now they do regather possession on the right-hand side. Serbia have it once more, and this time it is collected by Ilic again, and Ilic now onto the right-hand side of Veljkovic, and all of a sudden Serbia is starting to look much more promising. Samadzic does gather once more, and it is now Serbia who are enjoying a little spell of possession, and Lazar Samadzic, the Udinese man, is another player who's had a really good season domestically, and now's an opportunity for Serbia to come forward, and everyone behind the ball for Denmark, except for Rasmus Højlund, it should be noted. Here comes Serbia inside the penalty area, but Denmark just have the bodies back there to pacify the danger. And Denmark coming forward now for Christian Eriksen, who tried to help him forward towards Rasmus Højlund. Højlund with the touch, and Christian Eriksen now to feed it to his right-hand side. Denmark with the ball inside the centre circle, and it's played now on the right-hand side for Bar. Bar goes back inside, and Denmark in possession once again. Collected now by Højbjerg, and Højbjerg just brings it forward a couple of yards and goes to his left-hand side and finds Mela. And Mela now on the scamper on the left-hand side, just outside the penalty area. Mela for Denmark goes back 15 yards in the end, and Mela goes to his right-hand side and finds Højbjerg. Højbjerg once more, and it is all Denmark now inside the Serbia half, and we've got 15 minutes on the clock. Denmark 0, Serbia 0 is the score, gathered by Hjulmand. Hjulmand goes back inside towards Vestergaard, and all of a sudden Denmark lose possession. Here is Mitrovic inside the centre circle. Mitrovic past one, it's Alexander Mitrovic. Mitrovic tries to go past two and very nearly does go. Right-footed, he just swung the ball into the penalty area, and Bar felt as though he was fouled actually in the process, and Bar went down under the challenge inside the penalty area. I don't think it is a penalty. Zivkovic was the man who made contact with Bar. Certainly the suggestion was from Bar that he was fouled, but the referee having absolutely none of it. You just wonder whether Bar tried to shrug off that contact and really got cleaner contact with the header. He could have caused problems for the Serbian goalkeeper. So Denmark with another little glimmer, another little opening in the game. 16.5 minutes played. Denmark 0, Serbia 0. Serbia pouring down the left-hand side. Lovely ebb and flow to this game from the neutral perspective. Denmark win it back now, and Højbjerg. Højbjerg turns it round the corner for Win. And Win now on the right-hand side for Bar. And Bar inside the Serbian half. And Denmark now just slowed the pace of the attack a little bit, but they are still in possession inside the centre circle. And it is Andreas Christensen, Barcelona defender, who is momentarily in possession. Denmark still have it now with Hjulmand, and Hjulmand goes to Bar on the right-hand side, a couple of yards in from the touchline, around about 45 yards from goal, and it's collected now by Christensen. Christensen zips it in towards Christian Eriksen. Bar has it on the right-hand side. Bar trying to find Win, and Win just tees it off invitingly. Denmark popping the ball around nicely. Mela now on the left-hand side, just outside the penalty area, entering the penalty area now. It's Mela, goes to this left-hand side, angles a cue, trying to feed it across the face of goal. Wins a corner kick for Denmark, and Denmark now starting to ask one or two questions, and Denmark are beginning to knock on the door, and all of a sudden Joachim Mela on that left-hand side, who can be so effective when he's just given a little bit of room and loves a one-on-one situation, is the man who's trying to make things happen for Denmark. Corner kick then for the Danes. Will be taken right-footed on the left-hand side. Christian Eriksen will be the man to take. Rasmus Højlund and others lurking and jostling for position inside the penalty area. 18 minutes play. Christian Eriksen right-footed with the corner kick, floats it in, behind for another corner kick for Denmark. Again on the left-hand side, and again Christian Eriksen will be the man to take it. So, Denmark 0, Serbia 0. Remains England 0, Slovenia 0 in the other game in Group C. And the corner kick now for Denmark. Christian Eriksen is standing over it, and Christian Eriksen gives the signal, raises that left arm. Christian Eriksen now right-footed from the left-hand side, hangs up the cross towards the back step. Goalkeeper comes, it's a really poor corner actually, because Rajkovic takes that one very cleanly out of the air, and it is the goalkeeper's ball. Very calmly indeed. So, Denmark 0, Serbia 0, England 0, Slovenia 0. Those are the current results as it stands in Group C. Rajkovic pings the ball away for Serbia towards the left-hand side. Denmark win the ball back, and Rasmus Højlund might have just handled the ball. Certainly that was the feeling of the Serbian defenders. I don't think it's going to be given though, and it's going to be a throw-in for Denmark on the right-hand side. Milenkovic isn't happy. Rasmus Højlund increasingly involved in the last 5 minutes or so. Did he just raise the left arm to make contact with the ball? He well might have done, but missed by the referee. And there's a throw in now which Bar will take on that right hand side. Bar assessing options, level with the edge of the penalty area, and Bar takes the throw into the penalty area, and Rasmus Højlund was looking to pick up the pieces off the winner, just got a touch down. Serbia now with Mitrovic 30 yards from goal, can't quite get it away though. Christian Eriksen nods it back into his own half, and that'll be mopped up at the back by Christensen. Christensen rolls his studs over the ball, quarterback going left, instead goes short and goes right, and now Højbjerg keeps it moving, and Andersen, who's had a good 20 minutes actually as Andersen for Denmark, regathers the ball inside his own half. Collected now once again by Bar on the right hand side, and it is Vestergaard who does gather. Played over 20 minutes. Denmark 0, Serbia 0. Not really too many clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities to speak of so far. Wynn did have a strike on goal, which was comfortably saved by Rajkovic, and also there was a header from Bar, but Alexander Bar just couldn't quite find a way through. Long ball now played forward for Denmark, and Serbia can only get it up rather now, just outside the penalty area now. Denmark do regather the ball, but the whistle has gone. It's going to be a free kick for Serbia just outside their own penalty area. I think it was the foul from Rasmus Højlund, and it is now Serbia who do have the ball. Serbia have given it away. It's Rasmus Højlund now. Christian Eriksen with the strike, and Christian Eriksen is a whisker wide, just zipped the strike away. Right-footed, it came to him after a poor piece of play from Serbia. Rasmus Højlund with the touch inside, and Christian Eriksen right-footed first time, didn't need a second invitation. He was round about central in the goal, and the goalkeeper Rajkovic actually gets very important fingertips on it to nick it away for a corner kick for Denmark. It's Denmark who are asking the questions, and it's Christian Eriksen who's starting to make things tick for his side. I think he's going to take this corner from the right-hand side as well. Christian Eriksen is indeed trotting across to take it. On the right-hand side, different signal as he raises both his arms and waves them about in a signal for the Danish players. Christian Eriksen zips in the corner kick and is bundled over the line. Is that a goal? Referee says no. Well, the ball's in the back of the net, and VAR's going to have a look at this one, of course. Lukic is having a word with the referee, and certainly Wynn is saying there was no foul in there. The ball is in the net. The goal has not been given. Christian Eriksen it was who swung it in, and was that... Well, it's a fascinating situation because Rajkovic and Wynn are tangled amongst each other as it comes off Wynn into the back of the net. Wynn is just whacking his finger at the referee, and he's saying that should be a goal. And the referee says no goal. The VAR, of course, had a look at it, and so it's a bit of a let-off really for Serbia there, got to say, because it wasn't conclusive at all from the replays we've seen on our monitors here. Denmark 0, Serbia 0 is the score, and it does remain England 0, Slovenia 0 elsewhere in the group. But Denmark with a really good passage of play, and I think they're now starting to show that they are the better side in this contest, and well, it's going to be really interesting, isn't it, to see what Serbia try and do in the second half, because Serbia of course must win this game. They must win this game to stand any chance of qualifying, and as it stands, it's such a tight group, it really is. I mean, that has been the case throughout the duration really in Euro 2024. Just this extra addition of the best third place side does add another little something to proceedings, doesn't it? It is Denmark in possession, right on halfway in, on the left hand side I should say. Christian Eriksen around the corner looking for Rasmus Højlund, couldn't quite find Rasmus Højlund. No free kicks as the referee. Denmark certainly wanted a free kick, and a couple of occasions where the battle between Milenkovic and Rasmus Højlund has certainly fallen in Milenkovic's favour. Rasmus Højlund, as we know, only needs a moment. Ball is back now with Kasper Schmeichel. Kasper Schmeichel on the edge of his 6-yard box, and Denmark have had 61% possession in the game. Serbia have had 39, and Denmark have had 4 corners, and they have been on top in the contest. And Denmark have the ball once again, and Christian Eriksen turns it around the corner looking for Rasmus Højlund. They're very, very close to linking up very effectively are Rasmus Højlund and Christian Eriksen. Hasn't quite happened for Denmark so far in the game, and you feel as though Christian Eriksen in the last 5 minutes or so has really started to manage to make things happen, and he's so dangerous in these kind of situations. So here are Serbia on the left-hand side. I haven't seen anything really of Serbia in attacking sense in the game so far, and I think one of the big concerns will be just how isolated Alexander Mitrovic has been. Denmark trying to win the ball back high up the pitch, and it remains Denmark 0, Serbia 0. If you're just joining us, there's really been too many clear-cut opportunities. Denmark had the ball in the back of the net. It's been it was disallowed, I should say, for a foul on the goalkeeper from Win, and it is a case of Denmark really with a couple of half chances. Bar had a decent header, and it was Jonas Win who had a strike after a Christian Eriksen free kick that also tested the goalkeeper, but so far no real clear opportunity for Denmark to take the lead. Certainly nothing of the same ilk from Serbia, who so far haven't really got going, have they? A lot of quality on the bench, you know, to Serbia. I mean, those who follow Serie A over the years, absolutely fascinating that Milinkovic-Savic is on the bench. I mean, he's his best players for many, many years. A real player of absolutely huge quality. Stalemate as well, so fascinating lineup put out there by Serbia today. They do have options off the bench, and Pavlovic goes down, a yellow card. Haven't really been able to move the ball with any kind of purpose out from the back. They have the ball now on that right hand side, gathered by Veljkovic, and Veljkovic goes back inside to Ilic, and Ilic just moves the ball 5 yards to his left hand side and finds Milenkovic, and Milenkovic invited forward. All of this they've still been playing inside the Serbia half. Now they go slightly longer, looking for the run of Lukic, doesn't quite come off, and the touch initially was from Anderson, who's probably been the best player, or one of the best players on the pitch for Denmark in the opening 28 minutes of the game. And it is a Denmark ball. Serbia were trying to find a way through. It's a little bit scrappy on both sides, to be honest, and now Serbia put the ball into the penalty area. Rather has been the case really for Serbia in the opening 28 minutes, but in that final third it's been very, very scrappy, and possession changing hands really quickly indeed. Serbia have the ball now with 28.5 minutes on the clock. Serbia in possession on their right hand side, and it was Veljkovic trying to make things happen. Now Milenkovic goes to his left hand side. All of this has been played just inside the Denmark half. Everyone behind the ball except for Rasmus Højlund. Now Rasmus Højlund's trying to apply a little bit of pressure. Rasmus Højlund's hunting down Rajkovic in goal for Serbia, and launched long into the centre circle for Serbia, where the ball will just scuttle back and drip back almost, and it will be a throw-in deep inside the Serbia half. The thing that will be very concerning for Serbia is just how little they've managed to get Mitrovic into the game so far, because really, really difficult not to be so isolated in the game. Denmark have the ball 35 yards from goal. Christian Eriksen turns it around the corner, and all of a sudden it's played now back to Christian Eriksen. Christian Eriksen tries to ride the challenge, couldn't quite do so. Denmark throwing bodies in the direction of the ball. It's going to be a free kick for Serbia, just outside the Serbia half. Is that going to be a yellow card? Yes, it is for Hjulmand. And Hjulmand just gets right up in the referee's face. There's a little shake of the head, but it is going to be a free kick for Serbia. And in fairness, I think Hjulmand did dive in. Maybe he's kept the studs down and too much in the way of actual contact in the game. So it does remain 0-0. Hjulmand then misses the next match because he goes into the referee's notebook. So Denmark 0, Serbia 0, England 0, Slovenia 0 in Group C. And is there going to be an opportunity before this first half is out? 30 minutes on the clock, and in terms of chances created in the game, very few really to shout about for either side. Now Højbjerg trying to make things happen just outside the centre circle on the right hand side for Denmark, and they'll come back into their own half. Denmark 0, Serbia 0 is the score. Zipped into Christian Eriksen, he in turn finds Win, and Rasmus Højlund was looking to pick up the ball, and now Christian Eriksen will move the ball out to the right hand side and finds Bar. Bar now right footed to slide the ball into the penalty area, and Serbia have to scuttle it behind for a corner kick. And Pavlovic creates a little bit of space for himself and unleash a bit of a stinger of a strike from just inside the box on that right hand side, left footed. Couldn't quite test Rajkovic fully though. A decent saves in the game on that. Well, it's been all Denmark in the game, you'd have to say, and they all feel as though they've done enough to potentially game now. And Højbjerg will regather once again, just takes a touch or two, does Højbjerg, goes out to his right hand side, and now he's played forward into the feet of Win. Win will take the first time. Instead look for Christian Eriksen. Mitrovic has the ball, and Mitrovic wants a free kick, and he's going to get a free kick as well. He's deep inside his own half, is Alexander Mitrovic, because he was just trying to see off the challenge of Vestergaard, who in the end just gave a little nudge for good measure. And Serbia have the ball inside their own half. Serbia are in possession on the left hand side. Serbia just sliced it up, but it was particularly pretty Zivkovic and Pavlovic, and I don't think Serbia will wait too long before making substitutions. It remains like this and we go into the second half, because they've certainly got quality on the counter. Mitrovic trying to find a way through it, couldn't do so. 0-0 here, 0-0 in the game between England and Slovenia. So it is a Denmark free kick, and Denmark take it quickly. They're inside their own half. Denmark have the ball on the left hand side now with Christensen, and Christensen just plays it to his right hand side. Denmark has seen so much of the ball amongst that back three. Vestergaard, Christensen and Andersen really been very dominant, haven't they? And it is now Kasper Hjulmand who goes out to the left hand side and finds Christian Eriksen, but it's a little bit scrappy, it's a little bit messy, it's a little bit uncoordinated from Serbia, and they will know there's lots of work to do indeed if they are to find a way to get the goal, because as it stands in the group, England would have 5 points, Denmark would have 3 points, Slovenia would have 3 points, and Serbia would also have 2 points. So Serbia would be out, and then it really is a bit of a lottery either way. It depends how this all plays out. Of course, Denmark would go through as it stands as the second place side, but with Slovenia they would be left watching and wondering. So Denmark 0, Serbia 0 is the score. Denmark have the ball, but they're giving it straight back now to Serbia. A little bit sloppy from the Danes, gathered by Gudel. Gudel now zips the ball into midfield, and it's a nice touch back by Samajic. I haven't seen too much of Samajic in the last 5 minutes or so. He's collected now inside the Serbian half, and the suggestion is 1 or 2, and certainly Gudel's just barking instructions, and Mitrovic is saying you've got to come tighter in, because at the moment you've got Alexander Mitrovic who's playing as a bit of an island up there by himself. Now Serbia play it a bit longer, and Bar is back there for Denmark, and can Bar get a touch on it? Yes he can. Bar into the midfield, gathered now by Jonas Win, and Win just feeds the ball off to Højbjerg. Højbjerg, who's controlled things in the centre of the park goes to his right-hand side, and Denmark regather. Bar who collects, and Bar goes back inside, and now it is Kasper Hjulmand who has the ball outside his own 6-yard box. The Danish fans are certainly out in force. Of course, geographically it's a nice easy one for the Danes to take the train down into Germany, and it's some really good Euros from their perspective for the match-going Danish fans. Take up the car and drive. There's a few flights of course as well, but the Danish fans are out in full force inside this stadium. Rasmus Højlund with the touch, and now Højbjerg just gesticulating to one or two in front of him. A little bit more movement, I think, as Højbjerg goes to his right-hand side. Højbjerg with the ball out of his feet. Now Bar goes back in field, and it's collected by Vestergaard. Vestergaard in field to Højbjerg, right-footed, just zips it intelligently forward now, and now it's collected by Christian Eriksen, who nudges it off to Bar, and Bar's ball inside the penalty area. Rasmus Højlund is there, and there's the cutback, and Wynn just passed the ball over the crossbar, but it was a very nice interchange, and Denmark, they were zipping it around neatly on that right-hand side. Eventually the ball came in from Bar, and Hjulmand it was who was joining the attack, and Hjulmand with the touch, well, the faintest the touch towards Rasmus Højlund, and eventually the ball dropped the Wynn, and Wynn really, I think, from that kind of position, yes, it's a bit of an awkward bounce in front of him, but he'll feel as though he should do better from that kind of range. And Denmark now really have, you would say, and the far better of this first half. Jonas Vind has got in some decent positions as well. It is Serbia with the ball, shy of 40 minutes played, and Serbia haven't offered anything going forward in the game as yet. It's a game, you know, remind you that they have to win to stand any chance of qualifying for the last 16, and I really do think that we're going to see Milinkovic-Savic and Vlahovic potentially at half-time in this, because from a Serbian perspective it's just hard to see them going through as it stands. But when you look at that bench, you look at Vlahovic, the eventual striker, you look at Milinkovic-Savic and Jovic as well, who's recovered from an illness, to be on the bench tonight. I mean, there is options there, and there's possibilities. So it's back now with Kasper Schmeichel, the man of course who won the Premier League title with Leicester City, and Kasper Schmeichel. It is Denmark who've slowed the pace of the game down slightly, and Denmark now who have the ball outside their own box. Denmark once again in possession on the right-hand side now. Vestergaard collects it slightly more central, plays it to Hjulmand, who got a yellow card and will miss their next match should they go through to the last 16 of the competition. Now it's Mæhle. Mæhle has the ball on the left-hand side. It's gathered by Vestergaard. Vestergaard just outside the centre circle. Vestergaard zips it to his left-hand side and finds the run of Højbjerg. Højbjerg plays it forward looking to Hjulmand, and now it's gathered by Højbjerg once more just outside the centre circle to the left of centre, goes it back to his left hand side and finds Christensen, and it is now played forward towards Rasmus Højlund. Rasmus Højlund just outside the penalty, Rasmus Højlund with the left toward Wynn, and Wynn finds Christian Eriksen, and Christian Eriksen to Hjulmand. Hjulmand goes to his right hand side and Bar just inside the penalty area. Bar instead goes back to Christian Eriksen, and the impetus of the initial attack has been lost somewhat, but Denmark in possession once again, and Denmark have the ball in the centre circle, and they are rather patient in possession. Denmark now with Christian Eriksen, it's gathered by Vestergaard. Vestergaard goes to Christensen. Christensen coming forward intelligently on that left-hand side, and Mæhle with the step overs, and Mæhle just feeds it inside, and it's collected now by Hjulmand, and Hjulmand goes to his right-hand side and finds Bar, considered the striker goal just to the right of centre outside the penalty area. Here's Andersen. Andersen's ball in is a pretty poor one, and it's gathered by Rajkovic. So it is Denmark 0, Serbia 0. In terms of chances created in the game, well, a effort from Jonas Vind over the crossbar, and a header from Alexander Bar, probably representing the best of the opportunities in the contest. Serbia have the ball at the back, they're trying to play out for the back, but that's tactically hasn't really worked out particularly whatsoever, but it will be Andrea Zivkovic to take the throw. Zivkovic now getting a second bite at the cherry because the ball's back to him, and Serbia now coming forwards and flying the ball into the penalty area, but Denmark have bodies back there and will try and complete the clearance, and Rasmus Højlund has a good touch. Rasmus Højlund now on the breakaway for Denmark. Collected by Denmark again, Højlund, and it is now Denmark back in possession. Hjulmand meets it to his right hand side as we nudge towards half time. Don't think there'll be too much of additional time at the end of the opening 45, because the truth be told, there just hasn't been too much for Denmark to get excited about, really. There's really been many stoppages. There was the brief VAR check for the ball that was funneled into the back of the net. Denmark in possession, deep inside their own half, firing it long towards Rasmus Højlund, goes beyond everyone and collected by Rajkovic. Rajkovic just manages to gather the ball and bowl it out to that left-hand side. And here come Serbia on the left-hand side, just shy of the Denmark penalty area. Chance now for Mitrovic, and I think there's just someone coming back to the offside position, right back to Mitrovic. And it is a free kick for Denmark as we approach the 45-minute mark, and it remains Denmark 0, Serbia 0, and I'm absolutely certain that Serbia are going to have to make changes in the second half, because really Mitrovic has been so isolated. When you've got players like Vlahovic and Milinkovic-Savic on the bench, I'm not quite sure you can wait too much longer to make that kind of change. Denmark in possession and round the corner. It is collected now by Kasper Hjulmand just outside the confines of his own penalty area on the right. So just one additional minute at the end of the opening 45. Denmark 0, Serbia 0 is the score. And it is also England 0, Slovenia 0 in the other game in Group C. Rasmus Højlund is the target, final few seconds of the first half. And it is Serbia who try to eke out the ball on the left-hand side. But the truth be told, nothing clear from Denmark. They have been utterly dominant in the game. Serbia have offered close to nothing. Don't forget, this is a game that Serbia simply must win. And as it stands, Denmark are going through to the last 16, but everything to play for the second 45. We'll be back very shortly. themselves a chance of qualification for the last 16 of Euro 2024. Denmark 0, Serbia 0. We're all set for kick-off at the start of the second half, and indeed we are up and underway. A couple of substitutions to tell you about for Serbia, because Jovic and Tadic are the two players that come on, and really when you looked at that bench and you saw the scarcity of what Serbia produced in the opening 45 minutes, you did feel as though substitutions were certainly going to happen. Whether it's those two substitutions, I'm not sure. Of course, there's so many options on the bench as Kasper Hjulmand just launches the ball away for Denmark, and Denmark have won a free kick deep inside their own half. And so Tadic on for Samadžić for Serbia, and also, well, I think it is Luka Jovic on for Nemanja Gudel. So double substitution for Serbia. Certainly the immediacy of the situation, the fact they have to go out there and score a goal and win the game to keep their hopes and dreams alive in the tournament is definitely a big factor in that double substitution at half time. Denmark 0, Serbia 0 to score. Denmark have the ball right on the centre circle, and Denmark now trying to just pop the ball back to their goalkeeper, but Mitrovic tries to squeeze in to get a touch on it. Kasper Hjulmand will just about keep the ball in play. Denmark with the ball in the right back slot just by the corner flag, and they've launched it up now up towards halfway. Confirmation as well that Scoreline has come on for Jonas Wind, who didn't really have a great game, did he, in that opening 45 minutes. So one change for Denmark and two for Serbia at the start of the second half. It is Serbia who are in possession. The ball is launched to the right hand side, but it's just slightly overcooked, and it's going to be a throw in for Denmark right on halfway. Just reiterating the standings as they are. England have 5 points, Denmark have 3, Slovenia on 3, and Zivkovic. Havlovic now with the ball in, and Bar got a touch on it behind for a corner kick for Serbia. It's better from Serbia at the start of the second half. So Serbia do have a corner kick and something to work with in the game. Serbia now have a corner kick, 48 minutes on the clock, 0-0 the score, also 0-0 in the game between England and Slovenia. Kasper Schmeichel is just orchestrating and directing one or two around him. It's Tadic who will fire the ball into the penalty area. Header keeps it alive inside the confines of the penalty area, but now Christian Eriksen will try and break away for Denmark. Will that be a free kick? Yes, it will. Free kick for Denmark, and free kick for Denmark inside their own half, which they considered taking quickly, but in the end they opted not to take it quickly, just taking a moment or so for Denmark to just regather possession slightly on that right hand side. 49 minutes on the clock, Denmark in possession. Ball is played on the right hand side for Bar. Bar zips it into midfield. Denmark now with all of the ball. Denmark gather once again at Anderson. Anderson goes to his left hand side and beats it to Vestergaard. Vestergaard 5 yards to his left hand side again, and Denmark in possession. Denmark all the way back to Kasper Schmeichel, now gathered by Anderson. Anderson assessing options left and right, finds Bar. And Bar now just feeds the ball into midfield, and it's flipped forward now towards Højbjerg. Højbjerg to Christian Eriksen. Christian Eriksen trying to find Rasmus Højlund. It's Rasmus Højlund for Denmark. Rasmus Højlund evades one challenge. Ball now breaks on the just outside the confines of the penalty area. Rasmus Højlund still going. Rasmus Højlund finds support in the form of Scoreline. Scoreline's inside the area. Scoreline's effort takes a nick on his way through. It's behind for a corner kick, and the substitute very nearly opening the scoring for Denmark. He just opened up his body and wanted to place the ball in the far corner. He was inside the penalty area on the right hand side and left footed. It just came off Milenkovic in the end and behind for a corner kick. So Denmark 0, Serbia 0 is the score, and it will be a corner kick now for Denmark, which is on the edge of the penalty area. They've taken it short, now zipped into a cluster of bodies, and Serbia have managed to scrap it away. It is still wafer thin in this group, and as it goes on and on, Serbia are going to have to take more and more chances in the game. So it is Denmark 0, Serbia 0, and it is Denmark in possession right on halfway, and it's gathered by Vestergaard, and it goes all the way back towards Kasper Schmeichel in goal. Kasper Schmeichel does have Anderson to his right-hand side, and Kasper Hjulmand just taking a chance or two, eventually finding Anderson, the Crystal Palace defender, who launches it forwards, and Kasper Hjulmand, I think, just momentarily wasn't quite sure where Anderson was, and Serbia now have a throw in on their left-hand side. Zivkovic will take. Zivkovic with the throw for Serbia. And Zivkovic considered going back to his goalkeeper. Instead, Zivkovic launches it forwards, and it's now smashed forward by Denmark, looking for Rasmus Højlund. Rasmus Højlund trying to get on the end of it. Milenkovic is there though. Milenkovic deals with the danger of Serbia have the ball on the right-hand side. Just a couple of yards in from the touchline on that right-hand side, and it's launched long down the line but out of play, and it will be a throw for Denmark. So it is Denmark who have the ball. Rasmus Højlund was trying to get on the end of it, he couldn't quite do so. A reminder that as it stands in Group C, England are going through as Group C winners, and that means they will face, they'll play a last 16 tie Gelsenkirchen on Sunday against one of the third place sides. That could be the Dutch, who are a bit of a wild card, I think, in that group of third place sides that are going to go through. Here is Mitrovic for Serbia inside the Denmark half, but Denmark have enough bodies back there. Scoreline with the touch, but Scoreline gives it away, and here come Serbia once more, and it's a chance now for Dusan Tadic. Tadic slides the ball through, and it's a good opportunity here for Serbia, and it's bundled into the back of the net, and Serbia have scored, but the flag is up. Well, Anderson rose inside the penalty area, and Serbia convinced they scored. The ball is in the back of the net. The Serbia players are asking the question, was that offside? That's the big question. Have Serbia scored on 53 minutes? Anderson looks a little bit dazed and confused. The ball was played through really intelligently initially by, well, in fact, we're just seeing the replays here, and the left shoulder is indeed offside. It's the right decision. It's a really cracking call by the official on the far side, because Serbia thought they'd scored. The flag was up instantaneously, and it will of course be checked by the VAR, but it is a disallowed goal. It was Luka Jovic is offside as he was running through after Anderson had bundled the ball into the back of his own net. A bit of a let-up really for Anderson, but the goal is disallowed. It's the correct decision as well, and it's Denmark 0, Serbia 0. It's a lovely running behind, and that just shows what Luka Jovic can do. And Novak Djokovic is watching on. Of course, the Serbia legend, the real legends of Serbian sporting history, really, Novak. It is case of frustration for Serbia, but it's a free kick for Denmark, which will be taken by Christian Eriksen. Christian Eriksen, right-footed on that right-hand side. 55 minutes on the clock. Christian Eriksen is going to feed the ball into the penalty area. It's a slice clearance away for a throw-in for Denmark, and it's going to be an opportunity now for Bar to take the throw deep inside the Serbia half. Bar now with the throw for Denmark. And Bar considering launching the ball into the penalty area. Bar does eventually launch it into the penalty area, and it's smashed away now by Mitrovic, and Mitrovic launches it long, and it's found now by Kasper Hjulmand. Kasper Hjulmand in turn goes long, but can only find Ravic's opposite number. So Serbia had the ball in the back of the net, and ultimately offside Luka Jovic. He was just offside by a whisker. Remains 0-0 here, and 0-0 between England and Slovenia. So it is opportunity for Denmark on the left-hand side. Ball stays in play, and Denmark have possession through Rasmus Højlund just outside the penalty area. Rasmus Højlund with the ball into the penalty area. He tried to add the elements of surprise to Rasmus Højlund with the ball in, and just had a little bit too much different pace on it, and it goes out of play for a throw, and was offside for Luka Jovic just a moment or so ago. Mighty type big goal that would have been for Serbia. Would have absolutely turned this contest on its head. 57 minutes on the clock. Denmark 0, Serbia 0 in the game, and it is it is Denmark in possession inside their own penalty area. Kasper Hjulmand takes a touch with his right foot and then launches it away with his left foot. Now Christian Eriksen inside his own half. Christian Eriksen with a searching ball to the right hand side, looking for the run of Skov-Olsen. Skov-Olsen, can he keep it in play? No, his touch was far too heavy. Skov-Olsen, it's a shame from a Denmark perspective because he was in a really good position, and it is going to be another substitution now for Denmark, and it is going to be, I think, Rasmus Højlund, who's certainly worked really hard out there tonight, but just hasn't had that moment, has he? And it will be Goldberg to come on in his place, and so Goldberg is on for Denmark. Kasper Dolberg, the 26-year-old forward who plays for Anderlecht, 15 goals in 39 games for Anderlecht in their domestic league in Belgium last season. Spells at Ajax, Nice, Sevilla, Hoffenheim, but really the best goal scoring season of his career by quite a distance recently in Belgium. So, 2 substitutions for Denmark and 2 substitutions for Serbia in the game so far. 58 minutes on the clock. Denmark 0, Serbia 0. Remains England 0, Slovenia 0 in the other game in Group C. So as it stands, Denmark are going through, but 1 goal would absolutely change everything. Here is an opportunity for Højbjerg. It's 35 yards to goal. Højbjerg slices it through to Skov-Olsen. Skov-Olsen's inside the penalty area on the right hand side, just goes outside the area now. Back to Bar back to Skov-Olsen. Skov-Olsen on the right hand side by the corner flag. Skov-Olsen manages to feed in the cross into the penalty area. Will it drop now for Christian Eriksen? Yes, it will. Christian Eriksen gets it back right on the edge of the penalty area. Now the opportunity for the striker goal is smashed over the crossbar, and it is a goal kick for Serbia, who are very well aware of the fact that a goal now for them would put them up to 4 points and move them above Slovenia, move them above Denmark. They would be in a great position to qualify. So it does make for an absolutely fascinating final half an hour. It is Denmark 0, Serbia 0. Denmark just about managed to scrape the ball away outside their own penalty area. And it's Denmark once again in possession. And Denmark now with Skov-Olsen. Skov-Olsen's been lively since coming on, just trying to stretch his legs on that right hand side. It's really well done actually by Pavlovic, and Milenkovic mops up at the back. Pavlovic now in the left back position now for Serbia, goes back to Milenkovic, and Milenkovic, I think would have been pretty pleased to see Rasmus Højlund substituted a moment or so ago. Some battle between Milenkovic and Rasmus Højlund, wasn't it? Gathered now by Denmark and gathered by Christian Eriksen just inside the Serbia half. It is Denmark again who are pouring forwards on the right hand side of Bar. Bar just slides it in field. Bar wants it back, and it's Skov-Olsen. Skov-Olsen beats it back inside now for Højbjerg. Højbjerg to the edge of the penalty area. Christian Eriksen now. Bar tees it up really invitingly for Hjulmand, who had officially scored a screamer from similar range in this tournament, but didn't quite happen there. And so it remains Denmark 0, Serbia 0. It is still England 0, Slovenia 0. Last 16 is starting to take shape. Fascinating, shouldn't it? The last 16. So Denmark 0, Serbia 0 is the score. Serbia must score, and that is what should make it a very, very exciting final half an hour to the game. Serbia must score. Denmark at the moment are finishing second in the group, and Denmark do have the ball, but it's given away rather sloppily in actual fact by Vestergaard. The ball's back now with Brajkovic in goal for Serbia. He's made a couple of half-decent saves in the game so far. So it is Serbia who are in possession at the back. Serbia who are coming forwards now on the left-hand side. They gather it through Pavlovic, and Pavlovic cuts inside 5 yards inside and finds the movement of Zivkovic. It is Serbia who are coming forwards now, but they're just on the halfway line. Everyone's behind the ball for Denmark, and I think as the game wears on, Denmark will be increasingly aware of the fact that a draw is going to be good enough for them, at least as it stands. Here comes Serbia, though, trying to make things happen, and Denmark do a bodies back to Bar's effort. It's an attempt to pass at least is deflected, ricochets behind for a corner kick. And now it is Denmark 0, Serbia 0, and a corner kick for Denmark. Quite a few of these throughout the duration of the game, haven't they? Denmark. And it will be Christian Eriksen again to try to cross and take it. There's a sea of red and white Danish supporters in the crowd who are swirling their flags and just really making a bit of a racket because they sense maybe there's a moment in the game for them. Christian Eriksen with the corner kick, which invites it towards the back post. The header of goal is right down the throat actually of Rajkovic, and certainly it was the suggestion that Serbia wanted a foul, I think, inside the penalty area. It was Vestergaard who got a head on it in the end. He was rather backpedaling, was Vestergaard, and his header just moved straight into the arms of Predrag Rajkovic in goal for Serbia. At some point Serbia are going to have to take a gamble. At some point Serbia are going to have to throw on Vlahovic and Milinkovic-Savic, you feel, to find a way through. It is Serbia who have the ball at the back through Milenkovic. Milenkovic goes to his right-hand side, and Serbia are in possession inside the Danish half, but Denmark win it back very neatly indeed, and the ball was played forward looking for Dolberg, didn't quite come off, and now Serbia will move the ball back with Rajkovic, and Rajkovic hammers the ball forward out from the back, and underneath it is Anderson. Anderson just nods it back to his goalkeeper, and Kasper Hjulmand rolls it out to Anderson. And forward come Denmark once again. Denmark 0, Serbia 0. Remains England 0, Slovenia 0 elsewhere in the group, and a goal changes everything in so many different ways. And for Slovenia, if they could get a goal against England, they would go to 5 points on the group and hit the top of the group incredibly. Denmark have the ball now on the right hand side, so they're also trying to find a way through. Really, a goal in any game here really does change the complete complexion of the game, because England have already qualified, so that adds another dimension to it. And it is Denmark in possession deep inside their own half. Denmark once again with the ball, and they have the ball just outside their own penalty area. Zipped in now to Vestergaard, and Denmark playing neatly out from the back, and it's collected now by Hjulmand. Hjulmand has the option to his left hand side. Hjulmand does go to his left hand side. Here come Denmark and Mæhle. Mæhle on that left hand side. Mæhle cutting in field with his right foot. Mæhle finds Hjulmand, and Hjulmand to Højbjerg. Højbjerg just trying to go inside and out, and Denmark regather the ball with Christian Eriksen. Christian Eriksen 35 yards from goal. Finds Hjulmand. Hjulmand has an effort goal, just deflected over the crossbar. Did it take a nick of its way through? Certainly Hjulmand seemed to think it did, but I think it's going to be a goal kick in the end. 66 minutes played then, no goals in the game. Another substitution for Serbia, and this is the one that I thought would come a little bit sooner than it has, if truth be told. Dusan Vlahovic, the Juventus striker, is coming on. Vlahovic is coming on now for Ilic, and well, I mean, this is a really, really positive step from Serbia, because they now have Tadic, Mitrovic, Jovic, Vlahovic all on the pitch, and my goodness, it's go for broke. And you've got to respect the decision to make these kind of calls with enough time for Serbia to actually find a way to win the game. Played forward by Serbia to Mitrovic. Denmark grew so much to miss chances, because it wasn't like they created a whole handful of opportunities, but it's certainly they had the better of the play. As it stands in Group C then, England will face the Netherlands in the last 16 in Gelsenkirchen on Sunday. Well, I mean, this could change after tomorrow's final group games in E and F, though. But Wow, that would really be a cracking last 16 contest, wouldn't it? So, Serbia have the ball inside the centre circle. They're moving it through one or two players really inviting it. Now an opportunity to fizz the ball into the penalty area. Denmark do have bodies back there inside the area. Blahovic is potentially accused of a little foul inside the box. Certainly that's what Anderson felt like. The referee said no. So it is a throw-in for Serbia on that left-hand side. Serbia will go backwards all the way back towards Milenkovic, right on halfway. Milenkovic feeds it forward now. And here come Serbia once again inside the centre circle. Milenkovic has it. Milenkovic just didn't have too many options, did he? And so it is all the way back to Rajkovic in goal for Serbia. But the last 5 minutes have been much better for Serbia. And just a sense now that they're starting to dictate things, starting to utilise all the forward players they got out on the pitch. Serbia do have the ball, and they will feed it out to their right-hand side, and Veljkovic does gather. Serbia now moving up towards halfway, and Serbia crossing halfway. Now an opportunity for potentially Tadic to get a touch on it. It's really nicely done by Serbia on the right-hand side. The ball is fizzed into the penalty area. Denmark clear it behind for a corner kick, but all of a sudden the Serbian supporters inside this ground are starting to believe, they're starting to feel as though maybe there's something in this game for them, and Tadic is geeing up the crowd, and Tadic is asking for more from the supporters. It's Denmark 0, Serbia 0, and Serbia are starting to feel like there could be a moment in the game for them. They need it, of course. They need a goal. There's no doubt about that. Denmark 0, Serbia 0. Denmark must score to have any chance of qualifying for the last 16 of Euro 2024. Corner kick for Denmark. It will be taken into a half-decent area. It's Tadic who swung it in, but it's cleared by Denmark, and Serbia will regather. They have the ball now inside the centre circle, and they have it through Zivkovic, and Zivkovic goes to his right-hand side and finds the run of Lukic, and the pace of this attack is a little bit more static from a Serbian perspective, and they do have the ball now at the back. Do Serbia once more. They're going to go long, and they're going to look for the run of Mitrovic, and Mitrovic just touches it on intelligently, and here's an opportunity now for Serbia. She couldn't quite find a way through, and Denmark will try and break, and Christian Eriksen feeds it forwards, and Christian Eriksen feeds it forwards intelligently to Skov-Olsen, and Skov-Olsen on the left-hand side gets on his right foot, cuts inside for Hjulmand. Hjulmand goes to his left-hand side indeed, and now Denmark do fire the ball into the penalty area. Denmark want a penalty kick for the shove inside the area, but I don't think they're going to get it. It was Goldberg that went down. Milenkovic is just, he's looking a little bit of a nervous man. They are indeed going to check it. Ball's fired into the penalty area. Milenkovic might have had an arm up on Goldberg, but it wasn't enough for a penalty to be awarded. And so it is a Denmark 0, Serbia 0. Serbia must score to stand any chance of qualifying, and well, Serbia know that if they win here and Slovenia don't beat England, as is the case at the moment, then they will be the side that do go through in the runners-up spot in the group. So it's going to be another substitution now for Serbia, and it's going to be Ilivic to come off and Mladenovic to come on, and so it is a substitution of the game for Serbia. And how can that change the complexion of things? Mladenovic is on then for Serbia. Mladenovic, the Panathinaikos defender. We wait to see the reshuffle that is going to occur. That switch. 73 minutes on the clock. Denmark 0, Serbia 0 is the score. And Denmark have got a bit of defending to do here as Serbia come forward, but Denmark have got bodies forwards, and it is all the way at the back through Kasper Schmeichel. Kasper Schmeichel now just feeds the ball out of his own penalty area, collected by Anderson. Anderson cuts the ball back inside. Denmark are trying to work the ball out from the back, and Denmark zip the ball forward intelligently, looking towards Scott Olsen on the right hand side, around about 5 yards in from the touchline. But Denmark do win it back, and they're going to get a free kick here. Well, in fact, the free kick is going to be for what happened 5 minutes or so ago, 5 seconds or so ago, I should say, and it is a free kick for Serbia. Serbia in possession as Denmark are lining up another double substitution, and I don't understand why as well. Looks as though Delaney's going to come on for Denmark, as Serbia are starting to dictate in terms of possession. Pavlovic has the ball for Serbia on that left-hand side, collected now by Milenkovic. Milenkovic goes inside, and Milenkovic's ball is just played slightly behind his teammate, but it's regathered now by Dusan Tadic, and it's collected once again now by Velkovic, and forward come Serbia again, everyone behind the ball for Denmark, and it's now Serbia who are in possession on that left-hand side, and Serbia try and poke it towards Vlahovic, and goes down in a heap. No free kicks as the referee is Christian Eriksen on the breakaway. Christian Eriksen's got Dolberg in support. Christian Eriksen potentially wanted a free kick, instead he just lays it square for Ulrich, who might fancy the striking goal. Instead goes to Scott Olsen just outside the penalty area, and now Alexander Barr does gather, and Denmark are just retaining a bit more possession. Denmark in possession once again on the right hand side. Denmark have it through Anderson, and Anderson just feeds it forward once again, and now an opportunity for Denmark to fling the ball into the penalty area. They do just that, all the way to the back post. Will it be kept in play by Mæhle? Yes, it will. Mæhle cuts it back in field for Højbjerg. Højbjerg right-footed, 35 yards from goal. Now Scott Olsen, what can he make happen? Back to Højbjerg, 35 yards from goal once again. Will sandwich into the confines of the penalty area. Serbia try and win the ball back. They're going to get it back. Maybe they... Well, it's a little bit messy in the end, and the whistle goes anyway. A free kick. I just wonder, Denmark are going to get a little bit nervous now in the remaining 15 minutes, or less than 15 minutes really, in terms of the official 90. They will be added on time, of course, at the end of the 90. So is England 0, Slovenia 0 in the other game. So as it stands, it is England on 5 points, Denmark on 3 points. Those two would go through. It's mighty tight, isn't it? And it is Serbia in possession just over halfway. Serbia have the ball to the left of centre. Milenkovic goes to his left hand side to Pavlovic. Pavlovic cuts the ball in field to Milenkovic. Milenkovic goes instead to Lukic, and it is Serbia who are in possession once again. Milenkovic, who took a very early yellow card in the game, just feeds the ball forwards, and Serbia have the ball on the right hand side, gathered by Dusan Tadic. Tadic, what can he conjure on the right hand side? 2 yards in from the touchline on that right hand side, inside the Denmark half. All this is being played. Everyone behind the ball now for Denmark, and Mitrovic is down in a heap, but he's beaten the turf, and Mitrovic is in some degree of discomfort, clearly, and it's going to be to see exactly. Well, Mitrovic was involved in a little scuffle with Anderson. I mean, we just seen the replay on the monitors here, and there's really not much in it whatsoever. I think Mitrovic is trying to make something happen there, and an element of desperation about the Serbia situation, because they know they don't really look like scoring in the game so far. They do have a 10-minute window to find a goal. There is going to be a VAR check here. Mitrovic initially made contact with Anderson, and then there was a coming together more than anything, and Anderson just had a few choice words for Mitrovic, as Mitrovic was tossing his body around on the deck, and it is Mitrovic who is coming off the field of play, just touching his left hip, but he's going to be okay to continue. There is still one substitution to play with for Serbia, and do have the ball now, just over halfway. Serbia feed it forwards intelligently, and it's regathered now just outside the centre circle. Serbia in possession. What can they create? What can they conjure? And is there a moment for them in the game? It could be an opportunity now for Serbia as the ball is flung into the penalty area. Denmark, though, with so many bodies back there to alleviate things. And everyone is forward now from Serbia. They know that margins are so thin. They know they need a goal. And Serbia now trying to desperately make things happen by the corner flag on the right-hand side. But Denmark with bodies back there. And it's played forward now towards Stolberg for Denmark, but Milenkovic steps in and Milenkovic gathers the ball for Serbia, and you feel as though this is just going to be attack versus defence. As it stands, Denmark ball is played into the penalty area, and could be an opportunity now for Serbia. Drops it bicycling now for Mitrovic to pass it wide of the upright. And in 80 minutes of football where chances have been at an absolute premium, that goes down as a golden moment which Alexander Mitrovic couldn't take. The ball just played, just found itself in the path of Mitrovic. He opened up his body right-footed to the left of centre inside the penalty area, and he just couldn't quite manage to find a way to test the goalkeeper. It's Vlahovic who set him up, and Mitrovic with the effort on goal just wide. And if truth be told, it's a big moment that Mitrovic has got to do far better with. Well, Mitrovic can't believe it. Alexander Mitrovic has waited all game long for that kind of opportunity, and I just think it's worth reiterating because it's getting absolutely crazy really in Group C in terms of just how fine the margins are here. Denmark, as it stands, will finish second in Group C, but they are level on almost every dimension apart from disciplinary points, which is just quite incredible. Slovenia would still qualify as it stands for the last 16 due to their placing as a third best side, but it is just so tight. And Serbia, for Serbia, I mean, all of this would be absolutely no good because Serbia know they need a goal. Denmark in possession on the left-hand side. Denmark is the ball into the penalty area, and Dolberg was the target, didn't quite come off. And ball comes Serbia now on that left-hand side, and Denmark have got some defending to do here because Pavlovic is pouring forwards and he crosses halfway, and Pavlovic has got plenty of players with support, and Pavlovic tried to lay a square and couldn't do so, and Denmark were back in possession, and Pavlovic just didn't quite have the option, did he? And is that a free kick? Referee says no. Serbia win the ball back in a good position. He was Dusan Vlahovic, and Vlahovic is 35 yards from goal, and Vlahovic goes to his right hand side, and Denmark now have everyone back, and Serbia have everyone forward, and here's an opportunity for Serbia. And Serbia now throw the ball into the penalty area towards Mitrovic, who got there with a header. Vlahovic does keep it in play. Could be an opportunity now for Serbia still. Dusan Tadic, and Tadic feeds the ball in towards the back post, and Serbia are absolutely adamant they want a penalty. Mitrovic is right in the face of the referee, and Alexander Mitrovic went down wanting a penalty. He's saying VAR has to be checked. Mitrovic is booked in the aftermath for his protestations, and Mitrovic went down looking for a penalty. There was nothing doing, and so it is a case of Mitrovic after a penalty that he's never going to get. We're seeing the replay on the monitor here, and Tadic played the ball in left-footed just outside the penalty area, and Mitrovic went down. There was an arm, there was a hand on the back of the shirt from Mela, and Mitrovic just went down so theatrically. And why isn't he looking to score, Mitrovic? Why isn't he looking to score? Incredible. Mela's arm was up, yes, but the contact was minimal, and it was a great ball in for Mitrovic, and he's just got only himself to blame. He's looking for a penalty. He's looking for a penalty when, well, Anderson and Mitrovic are involved in a bit of a discussion here, but I've got to say, it is really difficult to see Alexander Mitrovic's point of view here, because Mitrovic wants a penalty. He's not going to get a penalty for that. It was a really soft way to go down, and it is, well, there's one or two objects on the pitch. Very tight indeed. When you look at the goals scored in Group C compared to other groups, it really has been a bit of a disappointment in terms of goals. I mean, Group A 17 goals, Group B 14 goals, Group D 15 goals, Group E 9 goals, but still with a game to play, and Group F 12 goals, Group C languishing with 7 goals. So there is still the absolute possibility for high drama here. It is Denmark 0, Serbia 0, and Serbia need a goal. Serbia must throw caution to the win in this one. Denmark have possession just by the halfway line, and now they've played it forward intelligently, looking for Mæhle. Mæhle just outside the penalty area on the right hand side, and Mæhle's trying to hit the dead ball line, and Mæhle just hang up across towards the back post, and Denmark have bodies back there. It's going to be a corner kick because Dolberg was in the heart of the action, and Mæhle did really well initially on that right hand side just to hang up the cross, and then it is going to be a corner kick for Denmark. It was the ball played towards the back post, and it was Mæhle who hung up the cross, and it was Dolberg who was trying to get in at the back post. Really good defending at the back by Zivkovic. Did really well. Zivkovic with a touch on it to clear it from the 2 Danish players that were coming in. 86 minutes played, Denmark 0. Himself in this Serbia lineup really was one of the top 5 players himself in this Serbia lineup really was one of the top 5 players in Serie A for a couple of years. Incredible, really. Corner kick then for Denmark, which Christian Eriksen will take. And Christian Eriksen is now going to hurl the ball into the penalty area, right-footed, swings it into a good area, and it's going to come to the back post from Skov-Olsen. And Skov-Olsen will regather, and in fact the referee seen something he didn't like, and it's going to be a free kick for Serbia. And so, free kick for Serbia, and a substitution now for Denmark, and it looks as though it's going to be Poulsen to come on. Yusuf Poulsen, the RB Leipzig man, is going to come on for Christian Eriksen, and Christian Eriksen's put in a really good shift tonight, but Christian Eriksen who goes off. Poulsen is the player who comes on in his place. 88 minutes on the clock, 88 minutes in which we haven't seen a goal, and a goal would change everything for Serbia. And it is Serbia who have the ball at the back and have it now with Pavlovic, and Pavlovic cuts the ball inside towards Milinkovic-Savic, and Milinkovic-Savic helped it forwards, and now Serbia come once more. They're on the right hand side, and they have the ball again now with Milenkovic, and Milenkovic is coming forward, and Milenkovic is striding forward into the midfield. Now the ball is played long towards Vlahovic, and Vlahovic was underneath it, but Denmark do have bodies back there to ensure that the ball is cleared sufficiently. And now it's gathered by Milinkovic-Savic, and Milinkovic-Savic, once he got the way of support, the ball is just fizzed in towards him. Milinkovic-Savic will pick up the pieces and beat it towards Vlahovic with the effort, and it's just about over the crossbar. It will be a goal kick for Denmark, but Milinkovic-Savic and Vlahovic combining. Milinkovic-Savic just firing the ball in initially into the penalty area, came back to him, and then when he played it to Vlahovic, it was over the crossbar in the end, and Vlahovic just couldn't keep the header down. In truth, it was a pretty difficult technique for Vlahovic. And are Serbia going to get another opportunity? Novak Djokovic cutting a very frustrated figure on the touchline. Denmark 0, Serbia 0. Milenkovic does gather. Milenkovic collects for Serbia. Played one of the allocated 5 minutes from stoppage time as well in the game between England and Slovenia in Cologne. Ball is launched forward towards Mitrovic, who touches it on, and can Serbia keep this one in play? Denmark do well to nick it out of play. It's now gathered by, it's actually going to be a throw in, is it, for Serbia on the left hand side. Mladenovic will take it, Mladenovic with the throw. Mladenovic's throw inside for Milenkovic, and Milenkovic feeds the ball to his right hand side, and it's now regathered by Serbia once more. Serbia have it on the left hand side, trying to feed it in towards Vlahovic, and Vlahovic goes down. Didn't quite make anything of it, did Vlahovic, and Jovic is involved as well. Vlahovic is there once more. Vlahovic's ball is skewed out to the right-hand side, has kept him playing. Now Serbia are in possession once more, and Serbia just can't find a way through initially, but they might be able to do so now. Here's an opportunity for Serbia, just on the confines of the penalty area, to find a way to truly test Kasper Hjulmand in the Denmark goal. Forward come Serbia again, and Milinkovic-Savic just lifts it long towards Vlahovic, and Serbia have the ball once more, and they want a free kick, but the referee says play on. Collected now by Pavlovic, and forward comes Serbia again, just on halfway. Inside now, and on the right hand side Serbia have it. 3 minutes to the allocated 5 we played. We've got 2 minutes for Serbia to find a goal. Can they do so? Everyone forward now for Serbia, and the ball is floated into the penalty area all the way through to Kasper Hjulmand, who claims it gratefully, and Denmark can see the finish line now, I think, as it finishes 0-0 between England and Slovenia in Cologne. And as it stands, England would be finishing top of the group on 5 points. A goal for Serbia now would take them into second place in the group. We've got a minute, just over a minute to play. Serbia launched the ball forward into the penalty area. Denmark can't properly clear it. Bodies inside the penalty area is a little bit scrappy. And here is Dusan Vlahovic, and the decision has been given for a free kick for Serbia. Well, a free kick for Denmark, I should say, inside their own penalty area. And Denmark are so close to getting over the finish line here. Was, well, there's too much in it really. It was Jovic who just led with the elbow inside the confines of the penalty area, and Vlahovic coming in on Delaney perhaps is why the final decision was given. And Denmark 0, Serbia 0 into the final few seconds in the contest, and as it stands Denmark are going through and Serbia are going out. So final few seconds of the contest now, and it's going to be a throw-in for Serbia. They've only got 20 seconds to play with. The Denmark fans look nervous, the Serbia fans also look nervous, but I think Denmark can start to believe that this is going to be their night in terms of the fact that they're going to get through to the last 16 unless is there a moment now, is there one last final chance for Serbia to come forward? They're just outside the penalty area, 30 yards out, but Denmark smash it away, and the full-time whistle does go, and it's Denmark 0, Serbia 0, and it's an absolutely massive result for Denmark, because Denmark are going through to the last 16 of the Euro 2024 Championship. Serbia had their chances, they really did, a couple of big chances in the second half, but Aleksandar Mitrovic and then Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, two big opportunities which they couldn't take. They'll be absolutely devastated with that. Denmark will be delighted through to the last 16 of Euro 2024.